In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to create a page with buttons that you can then link in your social media platform. So that way, whenever anybody clicks your link in bio, you're getting the page views instead of somebody else like Linktree. So let's head on into your dashboard and you're going to go down here to Pages and click Add New. Once we're in here, we're just going to add a title. For this example, let's do social. And now we're going to add our buttons. Before we add our buttons, I want you to look over here at the sidebar and see the different options that you have. What I want you to go to is your template, and you're going to make this full width without a title. So you could do default without a title. No, we don't want a sidebar. So I'm going to choose Elementor full width. But whatever you use, you may not have Elementor, so just choose it without a title. You don't want a sidebar or a title to be on this page. That is the key. So once we do that, it's time to start adding your buttons. So you're going to go here and choose a block. So I just want you to click the little plus sign here, and we're going to pick block. I'm sorry, not block. We're going to pick button, and we're going to add a button in. Then we're going to center this button. So let's see, justify items, center, and then we're going to add our text. So the very first link that you're probably going to want is a link straight to your blog, right? So let's just type read the blog. And then we're going to add our link. So ours is thrivetogether.blog/blog. And you do not want it to open in a new tab. If it is an internal link, which means if it is a link going to a page on your own website, you always want it to open in the same tab. If it is an external link, which I'll show you in the next one, then we will want it to open in a different tab. But always remember, if it's on your page, you want it to open in the same tab. Now, before we add our next button, we're going to click on this again, just click anywhere on the text and go over to your sidebar again. And here is where you can see how you can customize it to match your branding. So right now it's gray, and we don't do gray on ours. It's always bright and colorful. So we're going to change the color. You can also make it an outline if you don't want it to be a full solid color in the back. For this purpose, I'm going to just leave the solid color. I'm not going to change the font size or anything. You could change and add a border if you wanted to. And then I'm going to do a custom color, and I'm going to hop over to Canva. In Canva is where, in the brand kit, this is where I typically will jump over if I'm working online and grab colors. It's just super easy for me to grab my color palette from here. So I'm going to grab this purple color and copy this hex code. And then hop back over here and drop that in. Oop, and you see I dropped it into the text color. I'm going to keep my text color white, and I'm going to change the background color, but you can see how you can easily change the text color as well. Rule of thumb is if you have a darker background, you want a very light text, and vice versa. If you have a light background, you want a dark text. That way it's super easy for your audience to read. Now, what we're going to do is, instead of doing all that work all over again, we're going to just duplicate this. So click in here again, click on your button, and then click these three dots, which is options, and click duplicate. Now let's change this to an outbound link. So maybe you want it to go to your Amazon storefront. We're going to edit the link. And let's just go to Amazon.com for this purpose. And then for this one, since it's a link outside of your blog, an outbound link, you want to click open in a new tab. All right, now let's go ahead and preview how that looks. So first, let's preview it on mobile. Okay, looks good. It has this here, which I don't want, and I'm wondering if it's because, let's do this. Let's do default without title. Yeah, I think it's just because it's my Elementor, but when we preview it, let's preview it, leave it full width, and I'm going to preview it now in a desktop version, and let's preview it in a new tab. Okay, so now you can see it also has the hover element, which you can change. But it doesn't have the title, which is great, and it doesn't have my sidebar, but it still has my navigation and my footer, which is great. But one thing I don't love is just how tight this is. So I'm going to go back and just add some space down here at the bottom. So I'm going to click to add a new block and do spacer. And then I'm also going to add, let's duplicate this. I'm going to add it to the top as well. So you just click these up arrows. I just want this to be about half the width because I don't need quite as much space at the top. So let's do 50 pixels. Okay, cool. Now let's preview that again in the new tab. Awesome. I just like that it has a little bit more space there. The other thing you can do is if you want your buttons to be bigger. So if we preview it in mobile, you can see how they are here. Let's say you want them to be a little bit wider. So let's go back and let's click on your button. And so what you would want to do is, so just click anywhere on the text, go down here to width settings and click 100%. Now remember, this is for your mobile users, like because it's your social media links. And so it's going to be for people that are on mobile anyways. So that's how they're going to be viewing it. So now if we preview it in mobile, see how it just goes from edge to edge? And I just kind of like that. I think it looks nice. So that's what I would do there. And there you go. That's it. That is how you add your own page with your own buttons. Now you can add as many buttons as you want. I wouldn't recommend adding too many because your job as a marketer is to prioritize where you want them to go. So if you are wanting them to always go to a few links, then those are the ones that you want to prioritize. So that's why you just don't want too many. So that's my recommendation there. I would say 10 is probably your max that you would want to do. It's probably getting a little muddled at that point because you just want to point them into the right spot. And that's it. So you guys go get to work, get Linktree or anything else that you're using out of your link in bio, get those page views for yourself.